The Rock did it again. He struck again. In this video, we're going to be talking about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Oh, yes. Another year, another moment of controversy for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Quick note, I grew up as a fan of The Rock, and so it's very odd for me to be like, hey, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? We all know that The Rock appeared on a recent episode of Friday Night SmackDown. He announced next year's WrestleMania would be coming to New Orleans, right? Yay! Now, this was just basically a day before, or a day after, rather, that he announced that he would be on SmackDown. Everyone's like, oh, okay. And so he comes out there and he makes a WrestleMania announcement, and then he brings out Cody Rhodes, our undisputed WWE champion, right? Now, for the longest time, coming out of WrestleMania 40, these two guys, they talked about working a match together at WrestleMania 41, right? They both wanted it. They had set it up the year prior. It was all good, right? 2025, we're going to get The Rock having his first singles match in years. Let's go. And then there was a report, well, he hasn't committed yet. He's not going to work Mania. And then it's like, okay. Then he makes the Bad Blood appearance, and everyone's like, he just showed up and nothing afterwards. Then he dropped the final boss character at the Raw Netflix premiere. He hugged it out with Cody. And then we got Bizarro Land. Bizarro Land, ticket for one, because that's where we went. We all have seen this segment. We've all heard about this segment, and we all think that this segment is straight out of Wackyville, right? And so he talks about how he wants a piece of Cody Rhodes' soul. He wants his answer at the Elimination Chamber, March 1st, right? We all have heard this. We've all known this. Everyone has criticized this. And I then see the press conference right after SmackDown. The Rock, he's talking about how great it is to be back, how great it is to bring WrestleMania back to New Orleans. And then he just drops a little nugget, if you will, talking about how, not everything in pro wrestling has to end in a match. No, this storyline, this weird storyline, it doesn't have to end in a match. And so last year, just like this year, The Rock comes in and screws up WWE's plans. And that's where this video kicks off. If you've been wanting a rant, here we go. Last year, The Rock shows up on Monday Night Raw, drops the head of the table comment, even though everyone and their mother knows that Cody Rhodes is about to repeat, go back to back and win the Royal Rumble. We all know that he's going to go to WrestleMania 40 and challenge Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. We all want it. We all know it. We've heard Cody Rhodes talk for 2 years about finishing his freaking story, and everyone is just waiting for him to finish that story. The Rock tells Cody Rhodes to step aside. And then the fans backlash. So what happens? Rock turns heel. He aligns with Roman. We get the tag match. And everything worked out. And this year, the belief is John Cena's winning Elimination Chamber. He's going to go on to WrestleMania, challenge Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship, and win it, winning his 17th world title. Now, it worked out in 2024 at WrestleMania 40. But will it work out in 2025? Here's something that I don't think anyone's paying attention to. This is something in which I don't think anyone's talking about, and I think you should. The Rock wrestling at WrestleMania 41, especially after the promo that he did with Cody Rhodes, to wrestle Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, I don't think that's happening. I've seen countless wrestlers and fans talk about how they believe The Rock will wrestle this year. I don't think so. His comment about how this storyline doesn't have to end in a match makes me think we are going to try to recreate, even though it makes no sense, the Vince McMahon Steve Austin angle, where it's going to be The Rock in the Vince McMahon role and Steve Austin and Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes is in Steve Austin's place. Even though Cody Rhodes, he's already a top guy. He's already been a champion for a year, right? We also have an issue here. Might want to tell Dwayne this. Hey, man, you're kind of a busy guy. You're not going to be on WWE television week in, week out, just like Vince McMahon was back in the day, or just like The Authority was with Bryan Danielson from a decade ago. It's not going to happen. So what are we going to do? You're making all these plans. You're making all these changes. What are we going to do, Dwayne? Well, I think I got it figured out. I think they're going to bring up Ava, who is the NXT general manager, who in storyline is an absolute wreck, a train wreck of a GM, to the SmackDown brand, to the main roster. And when Dwayne, most weeks, cannot be there, she will be there to act on her father's behalf, to give the orders in which she had received. I think that's where we're going. I think this storyline has started and made no sense. And I think this story will develop and still make no sense. Now, do I think this storyline will end in a match? Yes, but I'm not sold it's The Rock who's going to be wrestling. Do you remember when it was Survivor Series 2003 and you had Team Bischoff and Team Austin? Well, Austin didn't wrestle a match at that event. No, it was the winning team earned a win for either Bischoff or Austin to gain full control of Monday Night Raw as GMs, right? They were co-GM at the time. So there is precedent here. I do not expect The Rock to step into the ring this year. He's got a lot going on. He just signed on for a new movie, a major movie, Martin Scorsese movie. I don't see it. And if you can't do The Rock and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, I don't know why you would do it anywhere else. It's Mania. They can tell you SummerSlam is as big. They can tell you the Saudi Arabia shows are as big. They can tell you international shows are as big, but it's not. It's WrestleMania. It's the biggest show of the year. So you can expect a very weird, wonky, makes no sense storyline with The Rock and Cody Rhodes going into WrestleMania. Coming out of Elimination Chamber. This is not going to make a lot of sense. It's just not. And it sucks because The Rock strikes again. He has come in and he has screwed it up again. Just like at WrestleMania last year, it was unnecessary. Now, in full honesty, I like the end product. The Rock turning heel, going the final boss. I like that. Maybe I'm going to like the ending of this story. But the first few weeks of last year's story, did not like. So we'll see. But this idea that The Rock can just come in and change things on the fly because he's The Rock, I'm not a huge fan of that. And I think they need to really, really try to figure out a way to navigate these uncharted waters when it comes to Uncle Dwayne, in my opinion.